I want to tell you this story about how I cut a corner on a landscaping job a long time ago, and it's because I was scared, and it actually ate me alive for like 5 years. And it was just a little tiny thing, but I still cut a corner, and here's the story. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what it was, but I have to tell you the story. So I started my landscape business. I was getting tons of customers and clients. We're trimming bushes, we're pulling weeds, we're cutting grass, cleaning windows, anything to get new customers and new clients and get money. And I made sure I crossed every T and dotted every I. I was obsessed, I still am, obsessed with quality and making sure you take care of the customer. It's a great honor and responsibility to come on their property and to even get hired. I mean, this is your business, this is your name, this is your reputation, this is everything. But I landed this one client who had an unlimited budget, or they just didn't, they said yes to everything, okay? This client was so wealthy and had a huge property and a huge house, and they had just moved in, and they wanted everything done. I had to be careful when I even spoke to the client, because I'd be like, hey, that tree needs to be elevated. The trees everywhere were overgrown and hanging down all shaggy. And as soon as I even brought it up, the customer looked around, said, I want you to do all of the trees on the entire property. So I was like, we can do that. So there we are, totally dude, imagine being scared, coming home to an eviction notice on your door while you're swamped in work. This is how low my confidence and self-esteem was, okay? Am I good here? Oh, my wife made this delicious bread, and it had, I just make sure it's none of my teeth. Okay, so now we're trimming all the trees on the property. We are doing the fall cleanups, spring cleanups. We're cleaning the windows. We're doing deep demos of the garden stuff. I mean, revamping the entire property. And then I noticed that the garden beds around the whole house had this old nasty pea stone, like thick pea stone, probably like that. And I was like, you know, we could put brand new decorative stone. And then the customer looks and says, I want you to do all of it, everything. How much? I'm like, well, he said, well, tell me how much. And I had no self-esteem or no confidence at the time. So I was like, you have to give me some time to come up with a price. I gave him the price, and the price was so low because I had no confidence, no self-esteem. I didn't know my worth. And so I gave him this price to do all the decorative stone, and I didn't even understand about commercial grade quality weed fabric at the time. I was getting cheap weed fabric. But at least we were putting down weed fabric. Now, in the middle of the job, of amongst doing everything else that he wants, while taking care of all the other customers and clients, and doing window cleaning for other clients and landscaping, and trying to cut my lawns on Sundays, plus have no personal life at all, I got in so far over my head because my prices were so low that I literally knocked on the client's door, scared, and I said, can I please charge you by the hour and you just pay me? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, because I couldn't even afford to finish the job. I was just saying yes to everything. And I was used to doing smaller jobs. You do the job, you get paid. A couple $100, $300, $500, $700. This job should have been like more like 50,000. And so I ran out of weed barrier fabric at the last part around the house of the garden. Remember I told you about the pea stone? I ran out of weed barrier fabric. Probably like the last, this was like several thousand feet, but where I ran out was like, let's say 80 square feet, 90 square feet. It's not a lot, but it's enough. It's probably the equivalent to like 1.5 parking spaces. It probably was. Maybe a parking space. So here's what happened. I was so freaking scared that, oh, real quick. This video is brought to you by Jobber software. I've been using Jobber for 5 years in my business. It does my billing, invoicing, payment collection. It'll automate the marketing communication with your clients and let them know when you're going to be there, ask them for positive 5-star reviews, jobber tips. The customer, when you build them online, they can choose whether or not they want to leave a tip, and a percentage of your clients will leave tips. We've gotten all types of tips. $50, $60, $100, $250. We've even gotten a $600 tip before, which is pretty insane. It's very generous. Jobber is amazing. You can get a huge discount with my exclusive link because I'm a Jobber ambassador. If you go to getjobber.com/Kelfus, I'll put a link in the description below. Free 2-week trial, and when you decide to sign up with my link, you get that huge discount, and this will literally take your business to the next level. It's an amazing software. Check out Jobber software now. Getjobber.com/Kelfus. Now back to our originally scheduled story. I was so scared I was physically shaking, and I had no money. No money. Plus debt collectors calling me. Doesn't matter. I looked, and I'm researching on Google and so there was pea stone. I said, and the rock was there, bro. The night before, I was shoveling rocks at 10 o'clock at night in the dark with flashlight on a Saturday night where the client told me, like, leave, get out of here, go home. I can't believe I did this. This is something I would not even part of my identity to do this. I put down probably 7-8 wheelbarrows of rock on top of pea stone without putting fabric underneath it because I was that scared and that broke and that undercharging, and I was terrified. I literally didn't even have it or couldn't even get approved for a credit card to just buy one more roll of weed barrier fabric. It kept me up for months. I was so stressed out. I was going through, this is gonna make you, I hope you don't lose respect for me. This was a long time, this was like 2012. I was so scared that I was like praying and begging and wishing that this guy would just decide to sell his whole house and just move. That way, and I was terrified that some other landscaper would one day come because some weeds grew up and find that we didn't put weed barrier fabric in this last, 80 to 90 square feet on the back side of the garden beds on top of the pea stone before we put down the decorative stone. This stressed me out for about 5 years. The stress was so bad that I was planning on, like, should I save up and go there and like pull up all the rocks and put down fabric, and I'm like, that's insane. And we went there. He was my client for the whole next 5-6 years, and I mean, weeds grew here and there around the property. We did standard maintenance, and for some weird reason, weeds never even grew there at all. And we ended up coming and putting down like stepping stones, and we did so much work for this client. This is an insane. This client had like a hill down the back of their house that led to a river, to like a forest, way off in the distance. And one day the client, he's standing out with this cigar, and there's this he had like this patio overlooking paradise, right? And he says, "You see way down there?" I go, "Yeah, the forest." He's like, "See how my neighbor's looks like a golf course?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I want mine to look like that too." I said, "Dude, that's like that's a 1,000 years of just, this never ever been done." I said, "Yes, we'll do it." Bro, we go down there. First we started by all the trees that were like maybe 3 inches and smaller. We thinned them all out. Then we had to grind all the stumps. It took us 3 years in between other jobs and spring and fall cleanups, taking load after 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 load, layers and layers and layers and layers and layers, just to get down to the dirt. I did this for so cheap. I didn't make any money. It was ridiculous, and it was an hour away. I can't believe I did this shit. And so, I don't know, we probably did $250,000 worth of work for maybe 40 grand. No, wait. Yeah, we did about $250,000 worth of work, maybe 35 grand. $250,000 worth of work. I don't think I'm exaggerating there. I might be a little, but anyways, none of that justifies that 80 square feet of weed barrier fabric that I missed. Bro, we did this thing, this guy's house. He had this flat, his roof was not a normal roof. That stuff was imported from all over the world. This is a whole nother story, but we basically built, I hired a professional roofer. I didn't make any money on it. We developed a rain diverter system that went down into catch basins because he was getting water in his basement. And the rain diverter system, the water fell like a waterfall and perfectly went into the catch basins. We had to rip apart the retaining walls and the stuff and then do a French drain system with a dedicated drain system alongside of it. That was, going through it. We did it a special way I was coached to do. And it caught all the water going in perfect. And it ran it all the way down off the property, like a 60-foot drain, and then it exited off the hill where the water was able to flow out, and he got no more water in his basement. And it was like this beautiful thing, and it was really cool. I put my heart into it. And totally radically undercharged for that. But it doesn't matter that you allow yourself to get totally, not even ripped off. You just radically undercharge for the services because you're terrified and you're scared and you don't know your worth, that you will do really stupid stuff and paint yourself into a corner where you're so scared that you actually feel forced to cut a corner. And then cutting a corner costs you so much stress and emotional time and energy because that's not even who you are. You're not the type of person to cut corners. Yet you were painted so far into a corner that you felt like you had to cut the corner just to survive. Why would you even run a business like that? And the whole time you feel like the clients are saying, like, I just want to end this by saying that I learned a huge lesson. And I had to go look in the mirror. I said, that's it. We're only doing top-notch work for top-notch prices to afford us to have all the materials we need and to take our time and do a good job the right way the first time. And that's all there's to it, period. Because that was way too stressful. And luckily it was just some weed barrier fabric, But nonetheless, it was wrong and it was my fault, okay? And to get so stressed out about something, these are the lessons. This is how you get a master's degree in running a service, in running a business, by going through pain and suffering. And so I'm at peace with it now. But I have this friend, Steve. He told this story. I want to get him on my show. He basically built this whole retaining wall around a patio, like a beautiful pull patio, and something failed and it collapsed. And he came back and rebuilt it, and it didn't. Something collapsed again, and he rebuilt it, and he said it almost put him out of business. And he said to the client, "As long as you give me the opportunity, I'm gonna learn and do this the right." It was some weird exotic something going on that was different, and he was able to come up with this whole strategy and fix it, and now he's the best freaking patios in around. So I guess probably the best in Michigan that I'm aware of. That's why I want to get him on my show, because he's gone through traumatic pain and suffering where he's had to go back and fix stuff. So I have a lot of stories that are really empowering, and I want to kind of start talking about this on this channel, because this is the stuff that gets you to the next levels and learning from other people's mistakes. So I'm Keith Kelfis. Hit the like and subscribe button. My videos have helped start around 10,000 businesses that I can quantify. I've actually, check this out, I've written these books. I lock myself in my office. They're all on Amazon. Type in Keith Kelfis or Audible. You can also listen to the audiobooks while you work. And get a PhD in pain and suffering, but also you can have a lot of success in the landscaping business. It's super rewarding to have your own business because of what you learn. You get to this point where you finally grow confidence and you learn your worth, and you can accomplish anything. And now you could just, from the moment, the way you market and advertise your business, the way you talk to the customers on the phone, the way you show up and give them a quote, your posture, your understanding, your charisma, but your heart is connected the entire time, and you actually care, and you can deliver phenomenal results for your clients. You can charge them appropriately so you make good money, you can pay your employees, you can run a healthy business, you can put Christmas presents under the tree, you can go on vacations, and now you run an abundant business. Like, wouldn't that be great, right? And it doesn't come easy. But I mean, this is totally possible. So I'm excited to see you in the next video.